I'm Kim. Today we're going to be talking about buckle carriers. So a buckle carrier is also known as a soft structure carrier, and this is what it looks like. It has a structured waistband, a square panel, and 2 shoulder straps. So the difference in this carrier is that it is actually attached with webbing. And then you secure everything with a buckle. So when you're baby wearing, it's important to remember the 3 ABCs. A is for airway, B is for body positioning, and C is for comfort. So airway, when you're wearing a child, especially a small child, it's really important to make sure that they maintain a clear airway with fresh oxygen. You don't want to ever cover baby's face. You want, if you think of their airway like a little straw, if your straw gets bent, you're not going to get anything through it. Kind of the same thing. They have small little airways. If anything, if their neck kind of slouches down, they're not going to be able to get clear air. They're not going to be able to breathe. So yeah, you always just want to make sure, a good rule of thumb is you can put 2 adult fingers underneath their chin. If they are not something more than that, then you're in a great spot. So for body positioning, especially with buckle carriers, you want to make sure that you're wearing a carrier that is appropriate for your child or the child that you're wearing. Some of the buckle carriers, you need an infant insert to wear a child at birth. Some of them are adjustable that you don't actually have to do that. A lot of the newer ones are actually coming out that the panel can be cinched down small enough so you don't have to wear a bulky infant insert, which is great. And then you want to also make sure that they are maintaining full knee-to-knee coverage, but their knees are able to bend freely at a 90-degree angle. You don't ever want to overextend the carrier on their knees and put them in an unsafe and uncomfortable position, which brings you to C, comfort. You want baby to be comfortable and you want to be comfortable yourself wearing child. If you're having any discomfort, there's probably just a few adjustments that you need to be made in order to fix that issue. So I'm going to go ahead and start. What's wrong? Okay, so to start, I'm going to take this warning label, make sure that's flipped and it's touching my body, and then I can turn around. I'm going to put it through this safety strap. And then clip it. Not all carriers will have this, but if it does, you want to make sure that you are using it. So I want this top panel to be, this top to be parallel to the ground. That's going to provide me the most comfort and not put any pressure on my back. So you actually want to start at your natural waist. It seems, you would think to wear it a little bit lower, but you want to kind of start with it at your natural waist. It depends on your torso and also which carrier you're using. Some of them will have a longer panel, some cinch down a lot more small for a petite body. Some have better shoulders with thicker straps, which are good for more broad shoulders. That is the thing with a buckle carrier. It's not a great carrier to use between different wearers. You have to do adjusting every time. So good carriers, like a pair of jeans, each carrier is not gonna fit everyone comfortably. So you're gonna have to figure out which one works best for you and the size child that you have for your body type. So I've got this panel centered on my body. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up my child. And so I'm just gonna kind of pick him up like I was holding him. I'm gonna spread his legs out. So he's gonna have a free 90-degree angle on his legs. You always wanna keep one hand on baby. I'm gonna take this panel and guide it up his back so I can switch hands. And then I'm gonna put those straps on my shoulders. So now he's in here and secure and safe, so I can actually find money. This is another thing with buckle carriers. You have to do a lot of adjustments. There's lots of moving parts. Okay, so So I got my shoulder straps on. I'm actually gonna take my hands and reach around. And buckle that chest clip. So then I'm just gonna do a few adjustments to make sure it's comfortable for me. So this baby is a little too small. This is a standard Tula. So you can kind of see it's a little bit, this leg is not bending as freely as I would like it. So I would not recommend wearing a baby this size in a standard Tula. He would still need the infant insert. So from here, you can kind of just adjust. This chest clip is making sure that your shoulder straps are not falling off. Kind of move that down a little bit. So this is the front carry for a tummy to tummy and a buckle carrier. You'll notice some carriers on the market, you can actually wear your baby facing out. With that, there are a couple safety precautions you need to take, that you're wearing a carrier that you don't need an infant insert, and that baby is big enough to be in the carrier without that infant insert. You want to make sure that the panel height is not going above their chin, covering their mouth. You can see this goes a little bit high, but he's still able to maintain a clear airway. And then to get baby down, keeping hand, you can loosen one at a time. That loosens those up a little bit. I still have one hand on baby, so I can reach back here and unclip this. And then bring one shoulder down at a time, switching hands, letting that panel drop. And then he's able to be out, so I can lay this baby down. And then just unclip and take it out of that safety strap. Now on certain carriers, you can actually do a hip carry. Not all of them have this. Some of the Ergos do. This is a Kinder Pack. This is a carrier that allows you to do a hip carry. So the way that you can tell is that on the shoulder straps, unlike a Tula where it's sewn into the panel, there's actually another clip here. So that's how you can tell that you can wear a carrier in a hip, on your hip. So if I wanted to do a hip carry, I would do the same thing. Take that warning label, flip it, make sure it's against my body, and go ahead and clip. And I can tighten. So you can see this is actually more center on my hip than center on the front of my body. And if you're gonna wear your baby in a hip carry, you would not start until probably baby's around 4 to 6 months. It would be when you naturally can start wearing them, holding them on your hip. They have enough trunk control, they're not slumping down. Their body is just kind of maintaining that carry when you would hold them anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab baby. So as you can see, this baby I would just naturally be holding him on my hip anyways based off his size. So you're gonna wanna make sure they maintain that spread squat position. The carrier is not overextending past his knee. So the same thing, I'm just gonna slide this up his back. So for a hip carry, the straps actually work a little bit different. The front strap, which is opposite of the side my baby is on, is gonna go over my shoulder. So then I can just reach around, find that strap, bring it around. And buckle that. So it's gonna be really uncomfortable for me to actually keep it on my neck like that. So I'm gonna wanna make sure that I keep it pulled down on my shoulder, and then I can adjust if needed to tighten that up. I'm gonna take the free strap and I'm gonna bring this straight across my back. So if I pin it with my other arm, it makes it easier to find with the opposite hand. So I'm gonna bring that around, buckle, and then I can tighten this. So this carrier actually adjusts 2 different ways on both ends. So it gives you a more customization. It's customizing on your body. So as you can see, this is a hip carry. I've got one strap going over my shoulder, this strap straight across my back. This is still parallel, the top of the panel, or the top of the waistband is parallel to the ground. My baby can move their legs freely. You never really put them completely on your hip. It's not going to be very comfortable for your arm, so you usually be a little bit forward. And then to get this carry off, I'm going to do the last clip first, so I can loosen that, unclip. That's going to drop down the strap that was on my back. Then I can switch hands, unclip my shoulder strap, bring that down, let the panel fall, and then I can take baby safely out. And then I can unclip. So you can also do a back carry with a buckle carrier. And if you're gonna do a back carry, you wanna make sure that you're using a baby at least 6 months or older. They are completely sitting unassisted. That's a great way that you can tell your baby is ready to be worn on your back. So I'm gonna get this strapped on. Also, if you are not comfortable wearing your baby on your front, you're not gonna wanna try to wear the baby on your back yet. You wanna be really proficient in whatever carrier you're using on your front before you attempt a back carry. If you've never attempted to get your baby on your back, you will definitely wanna practice, even without a carrier on, getting them back there safely. Practice to make sure that's the very first step, is you can get them back there. You wanna practice the spotter, practice over a bed, a couch, somewhere soft, just in case anything does happen. And then once you have mastered that, you're ready to put your baby on your back. So to start, you're gonna buckle it on just like you normally would. A little bit looser because you're gonna slide it. So it's gonna be in the complete opposite position. Now, it's totally centered on the back of your body. So it's easier to start off with having these pulled out. So there are 2 ways you can get your baby on your back. You can do a scoot on your hip, or you can toss them over in a Superman toss. If you're gonna toss them over, we're just gonna go ahead and grab their torso, face baby out, grab their torso, and in one swift little motion, you're gonna flip them over. You would bring them down the same way. You wanna make sure you're not grabbing their arms. You want to grab them by their torso. For a buckle carrier, I prefer to hip scoot. So I'm gonna turn baby around, put them on my hip, take my free hand, put it on their bottom, and I'm gonna do like a swimming stroke motion to get my arm up and over. And then I can scoot, scoot, scoot. So then I've got hand nice and high on my back. From here, same thing. I can lift that panel up on his body, and then like a backpack, I can put on my straps one at a time. Make sure that the panel, his legs are out. And then from here, you want to lean over, but not too much because you don't want them to be able to push off your body. So from here, you can do a little hop. Make sure that the panel is covering as high as you need it. So then you can go ahead and clip, and then you're going to want to tighten that up really good. And then you're going to take your straps and pull back. So again, this baby is not a baby that I would actually wear on my back. He's too small for that. You can see that his knees do not bend. So he would need to be bigger. I'm going to want to make sure this is really tight so he can't lean backwards. And there he is on my back, nice and secure. When you're wearing a baby on your back, especially a reason you want to wait till they're bigger and have sufficient neck control is because unlike the front where they're visible and kissable and you can monitor the breathing, you're not going to have as much visibility back there and see if there's anything going on if they've slumped down. And to get baby off, kind of the same thing with the hip. You're going to start last carry, whatever you did last, you're gonna do first. So I'm gonna go ahead and unclip this. I'm still holding baby. Take off one strap, switch hands, take off the other strap, replace my hand through the panel, let it drop, and then I can bounce him back over. And there you go. That is a back, hip, and front carrier with a soft structure carrier or a buckle carrier. Always want to make sure that you maintain clear airway for your baby and don't keep their face covered. You want everyone to be comfortable, be using the carrier correctly based on the manufacturer guidelines. All right, and thank you.